In the world of Pokemon, have you ever wondered why there's like no parents except for like a bunch of old scientists and Ash's mom? There's also, there's like the Nurse Joys and Officer Jenny's, and obviously Team Rocket, and Giovanni. But other than that, there's no parents. We see Brock's dad, we see Ash's dad. Although in Pokemon Journeys, we did hear that Ash's dad was coming home, and by the time Ash got back home, his dad had already left. So his dad's still alive. Kind of debunks one theory. But the Pokemon games as a kid, in Red version, Lieutenant Surge mentions about being a part of the war. He says, "My electric Pokemon saved me in the war." So all these theories popped up about the Great Pokemon War. But what if there actually was a Great Pokemon War, and what actually happened? Make sure you stay on until the end, because we have proof of Lieutenant Surge being in war with his Raichu. Hit that button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get into today's video. Like I said, in Pokemon Red, Lieutenant Surge mentions about his electric Pokemon saving him in the war. Well, this sparked a bunch of fan theories, and we know that there's wars going on throughout the world. Yes, Pokemon's like an alternate universe, but there's war. War's going to happen. And we know this from the new game, Arceus, whatever it's called, Legends of Arceus. There was a great war, many years ago, before Lieutenant Surge was even around. We also know this from the anime, that there was this great war in the, I think it's the Galar region, where the brothers came together to defeat the dragons and so on and so forth, and things like that. So there's definitely war going on. And this sparked a bunch of fan theories, and there's no other mention of a war anywhere else in the series. Even if you look at the manga, where Ash and Lieutenant Surge let's see. That's at this sort of thing. Yeah, Lieutenant Surge. You can see he's dressed up in like military garb. And all he does is throw red off the SSN. Doesn't mention being in a war. So there's not much mention of the war other than in that one game. And this sparked a bunch of theories. Some fan-made games talk about this war and how basically there was this war between the three main regions, Kanto, Johto. How this war was between the two main regions, Johto and Kanto. Johto wanted to take over Kanto, so there was a big war between the two regions, and this led to Kanto's downfall. So Johto then ends up owning basically Johto, which is why we see Lance being the champion of both regions, because he's like most powerful, so he is the champion of both regions. Johto, as well as Kanto, and basically the Pokemon League owns the world, so each region's Pokemon League will own that region, basically in charge, like almost like the president of that area. So these fan-made games and stories talk about how the downfall of Kanto. Professor Oak used to work for this, and there's a whole big controversy to that. So, can you stop? So one of the fan-made games I played recently basically talks about how Lance, Giovanni, Professor Oak, Blaine used to work all together. They're working on the Mewtwo project. Basically, they were trying to create Mewtwo in order to fight this war against Johto to win. But obviously, there's a catastrophe and things happened, and that group broke up and they lost the war. Because according to Giovanni, Professor Oak said, I'm not doing this anymore. We can't fight. Let's give up. So they gave up and lost the war to Johto. Giovanni got upset and started Team Rocket in order to take back Kanto, basically for himself, and that's why Team Rocket exists, because they want to take back Kanto and be their own area, be out of Johto control. But it's very interesting to think about, there's some stuff that we don't see in the anime. There's some stuff we don't hear in the make. Is this true? Did this war actually happen? We don't know for sure. So the main theory goes about this war that Lieutenant Surge talks about is the reason why we don't see many other adults except for older people. Obviously, Officer Jenny's and Nurse Joy's are women, so this war has already happened and it's done. Nurse Joy could have been in the war as well. She could have been a medic, things like that. But the theory is that a lot of these people perished in the war, which is why there's not that many adults. One of the theories was that Ash's father was in this war and passed away, but that got debunked because of Pokemon Journeys and the statement that Ash's dad's still alive. We still don't get to meet his dad, but his dad's alive. So, back in the day when Pokemon first came out, there was a specific card called Secret Mission, and this card shows Lieutenant Surge and Raichu on a secret mission. Okay, so obviously they were in the war. But if you look closely, behind him on the wall is a map of Germany. So what if the war that Lieutenant Surge was talking about was not the great Pokemon War between Johto and Kanto, but like World War One or World War One or World War Two, because that's a map of Germany. He's plotting an attack, a secret mission to attack Germany. Lieutenant Surge was in World War Two. It makes perfect sense. And the fact that we get confirmation in the Pokemon canon that Lieutenant Surge is from the Unova region. The Unova region is based off of New York City. So he's from New York. He's from America. He is the symbol of America in Kanto. He is an American soldier who fought in World War II with his Pokemon Raichu. Now, we don't know the story on how his Pokemon saved him. He made it seem like he was dying and his Pokemon came up and saved him. No, I think he had his Raichu on his mission, his side by side, and whatever the secret mission was, if he didn't have his Raichu, he probably wouldn't have made it out alive. So his Pokemon saved him. So the fact is, yes, there most likely was some kind of big war between Kanto and Johto, between this region, between that region. Uh, Many years ago, a big, deity dragon came down from the sky and it was able to separate into 3 other dragons. That's also lore of that region. But the fact that these regions are based off of actual regions in the world, like Kanto is actually based off of Kanto in Japan, and Unova is based off of New York, America. And we know that Lieutenant Surge. Okay, so the anime, the manga, and the games are technically canon with each other, but technically not. So the manga and the games. So the games are based off the manga, and the anime is basically just a stone. There was no anime with Ash. Like it's different. You got Red. So obviously the games they couldn't do too much stuff back in the day with the limited availability space they had on those little cartridges. But the games are basically based on the manga, and the anime stands alone. But the characters interact with it, and there's some canonness that does transfer over. I mean, his name is still Lieutenant Surge in the anime, so I'm assuming he was part of the war, but it does mention that he is from Unova region. Yeah, Lieutenant Surge was in World War II, and he fought side along his Raichu. Boom. Pokemon War theory solved. Sort of. But the war that Lieutenant Surge talks about happened across the world. So it could have been the one that affected the Kanto region because it was World War II. So yes, Pokemon theory confirmed. Pokemon War theory confirmed was actually World War II in an alternate timeline where animals are Pokemon. Boom, mic drop. Hit that button, hit the sky button, and while you're down there, hit that join button, check out the merch store. And if you want to help me out to avoid the fluctuation ad rates of YouTube, check out my Patreon page. I got a ton of great content on there for just you, for viewers only. Also, if you hit the join button, you also get some really cool perks. So anything you can do to help me out, much appreciated. While you're down there, comment your thoughts on the Pokemon War theory. Do you think it was World War II? What do you think is going on here? Any other thoughts about the war and what could have happened? Let me know. And I'll see you guys next time. But before you go, please check out that video. The one behind me and the one above me.